Guidewire application. To make it very simple, business analysts are the people who act as a liaison between business and technical community. Because let's say a customer has any kind of requirements in his organization, he wants some technical solution that is to be developed. Business solutions will gather the requirements from them by understanding the business situation, what kind of business problem or the problems they were facing, what are the recommended solutions. I'm referring to the business solutions. This is what something as a BA that we do. So this is a generic explanation as a BA, irrespective of technology, irrespective of the domain as a business analyst. This is what we do it. You know that. Now, when it comes to the Guidewire business analyst, how it is different. So it's not only Guidewire BA, to make it very simple, application-based business analyst roles we are. Because either it can be a Salesforce business analyst, it can be Microsoft Dynamics. In the same way, as a Guidewire BA, the major role is to understand about the business process flow. That is more important. Let us assume that an organization called ABC or XYZ as an insurance company. So they are using some old legacy policy management, billing claims, all that. Now they wants to transform from old legacy on-premise systems to new systems. Either it can be new on-premise or cloud environment. They want someone who should able in a position to understand the requirements and document those. So for that reason, they require business analyst. From the application point of view, I'm referring this. I'll give an example, okay, so that you guys will understand. Because let's say Guidewire as a product, because many people can ask me why Guidewire is more prominent for these days. Because we have not only Guidewire in P&C domain, we have other modules, we have other products also. We have Duck Creek, we have at the same time we have Magiscope. Like that, many other in-house products also available in any insurance company. Because insurance company perform three business activities, you know that. One about the policy administration, means if someone has submitted any application for any insurance policy, underwriting team has to review it. They need to do the risk assessment. Followed by this, whether the policy can be issued for them or not will be decided by them. So once they are agreed upon the terms and conditions based upon the quotation, policy can be generated. At the same time, if there is any cancellation happens, cancellation can be done under the policy administration. Reinstatement can be done. At the same time, renewals. All these things are possible under the policy administration. This is one business service an insurance company do. First time, any customer came, receiving the application, make necessary requirements to understand, and providing a business insurance product for them. This is all about the policy part. Second, billing. For example, customer has agreed upon the terms and conditions and the quotation that we have given. Customer can accept the terms and conditions, quotation, all that. Based on that, billing people do the billing part. There were many types of billings like agency billing, premium billing, direct billing, and also billing people will perform billing. At the same time, insurance company where there are middlemen, brokers or an agent, based upon the customers they have received, they get the commission out of it. This is all something part of billing. This is the second service. Means any insurance new premiums customer is paying or any renewals. Once cancellation is done, any kind of refunds that is to be performed. Or else, when it comes to the commission structures are concerned, everything will be part of billing. That is the second service. The third service about the claims. Any person has taken a policy. If there is any collusion happened or any unfortunate incident, and they submit the details to the insurance company, so that insurance company will verify and validate, so that the process will be clean. So these are the three major services any insurance company across world it has. Because some people may be good at some personal auto, some people may be good at commercial auto, some people may be with homeowner insurance. But end of the day, these are the three major services are being used. Now, the major advantage in Guidewire, why prominency of Guidewire has increased now and then due to the reason is one, Reason, Guidewire itself is called as an insurance suite, where insurance suite consists of even policy center, billing center, and claim center. But all the three modules are not required to take. Any insurance company, they want to have any one module. Let's say they want to extend their services in terms of the claim center. They want to extend their services in claims. They want to add some new services to that. Hence, they have decided to go for Guidewire Claim so that they can take only Guidewire Claim Center. They don't need to buy Policy Center. They don't need to buy Billing Center, all that. So they can buy only Claim Center. So any one module can be taken. One advantage is that. So you don't require to take all the three modules. Reason number one. Reason number two, Guideware now and then, of course, we have on-premise. This is how generally on-premise application will be looks like, right? So this is how you can see the application, all that. This is how generally policy center. We have on-premise service as and when I'm showing you. Apart from on-premise services, we have even cloud service also. Cloud related stuff is also there. Means even cloud environment, cloud enable Guideware services are providing by the Guideware company. So if it is a cloud environment, we don't need to manage the infrastructure on premise. You don't need to manage any data centers as separate. That is the reason why organizations are planning to transform themselves into Guideware application. Now, in what way? Because next question anyone can ask, Raj, as Guideware as a product by itself, it is already existed. What else as a BA do? Because general understanding as a BA is we'll be developing solution from the scratch wherein we gather the requirement. That's what as a business analyst we will be doing. But when you see the Guideware as a product which is already existed, it is already ready, which is already existed. Now, what else are we doing about? Okay, because if the product is already available, what else is something as a BA that we do? Because there is nothing to do with requirements that we want to start from the scratch or something of that. So there are two reasons behind going for Guideware this thing, especially for a BA. First about the configuration part. Second, you need to know about the integration part. Point number two, because I'm not talking about the technical side, but I'm just giving you a glimpse of it. For example, you can see here, this is a policy center where account creation is a page which is required. So this is part of Guideware policy center where account creation, all the fields are there. Okay, let's say state maybe country. For example, one country is not added here. Okay, the country where the operations are happening, they want to add the new country to the existing drop down box. This can be one requirement. Or else, for example, there is a undercurrent rule company has that if someone has applied any kind of personal auto or commercial auto, a driver, whoever the driver details, because we have to submit all the driver details, etc. When someone is submitting commercial auto or personal auto or commercial auto, they have to see, for example, company is not allowing person whoever is having more than 2 or 3 traffic violations in last 3 years. Normally, if that was the case, automatically that will be considered as a high risk driver. Automatically it has to be transferred to the underwriting team. So underwriting team do the risk assessment. If they found this is more riskier, they are having a possibility where they can reject the quotation to be provided, or else they can provide a higher premium for the particular policy. So there are different requirements from customer to customer, client to client varies. So back of it, especially in context to the policy center, we have a developer studio. This is what generally we call it as developer studio. This is the backend application, the one you can see. And this one is a front end. The policy center, what you see here, this is a front end application. And whatever the required changes that are needed, especially on the policy center on the front end, so those requirements will be gathered by the BA. So business analyst is all about scenario based learning, because if there is any kind of situation you come across and how you are handling it, how you are going to write user story for that. So for that, what kind of activity pattern you have to define, right? So what are the underwriting rules you need to understand? These kind of understanding is required for a BA. That is point number one. Means based on the underwriting rules that we have defined, based on the rule that is defined, based on the interaction with the customer, Technical team will do the configurations, whatever the required configuration you want to do here. Or else if there is any integration kind of requirements as such, everything will be done by the integration developers or configuration developers in back of the application, so that the same requirements can be reflected. So as a BA on the front face, when we are working on the front end side of the application, when it comes to the Guidewire, either it can be policy center, billing and claims and all, as application is existed, we must be knowing about what are the new requirements, what are the new requirements as per the business rules of the customer, what are the new requirements that are to be modified in the application. So those requirements has to be gathered. So you are not gathering the requirements from the scratch, because product is readily available. Even if assume that I have an insurance company, I want to use the product as it is, I can use it, right? So I don't need any changes. But as per my company policy, as per my business rule of my company, if I want to make any kind of changes, then I want someone who acts as an intermediary. That is where, as a business analyst, we will be working. So, as a BA, we are working as an intermediary between business and technical community. Business community, nothing but the customer, I can say. Technical community, nothing but the development team. So to bridge the gap between these two people, as a business analyst, we will be working. Either it is in the configuration side or it can be from integration side. What are the requirements are needed? Whether we are preparing documents, we are writing user stories, whatever the way or whatever the name you can call. So these requirements will be given. These can be documented. And as a BA, subsequently, this has to be given to the development team so that they will be performing this accordingly. This is requirement number one from a BA side. Reason number one why BA needed. Reason number two, you must be knowing about the flow process, because when you are talking about the policy center, for example, this is what the policy center application is. When any customer has submitted application, first of all, customer should be having an account number first. Okay, for example, there is an account number where already account numbers were there, account details were submitted here, right? So we have all the list of accounts here, right? So these were the different accounts we are having. Okay, for example, for example, this is a company. Okay, this is the company, because normally accounts will be two. Either it can be on the company name or it can be on the person name. Account can be created because an individual, a person can apply for insurance policy for personal auto or homeowner insurance. For example, a person have bought the property, he wants to insure that, or else he bought the two-wheeler or four-wheeler, he wants that is to be insured. Okay, this is all part of the person individual account. Second, company accounts. Company accounts means already company established, they are doing different business. They have some property, right? So buildings, furniture, machinery, warehouses. They have commercial vehicles. All this to be insured. Okay, this is all part of commercial accounts, right? So business accounts, I can say. So any policy form or submission, if you create in the Guidewire, the first reason, the first thing is that a person should be having an account. Without an account, policy submission cannot be possible. A person who is going to do this, that is the reason why you must be knowing about the users. Users, nothing but the people who uses the application in the policy center in the back of the back office in the insurance company. There are many people. One people are called producers. We call it as role. Producer, nothing but broker or an agents who acts as a middleman between customer to insurance company. So they will have login credentials. So they have to create an individual account or a company account. So once they have created an account, you can see here, for example, you can see here, let's say Big Lake Bakery, right? So this is one account is created. So once account is created, based on this account, policy submission has to be done. Who will be doing this? This is something will be done by the producer or an agent. Normally we call it as producer. This is the word we use it. It can be brokers or it can be agents or whoever they are, right? So those people have to submit this. That is one thing it is required. Next, underwriting team will also have the access, because underwriting team have to access the policy details that is submitted, and whatever the risk assessment, everything they do, they are one more users. Next, third type of users are auditing teams. Auditing teams have to audit because if there is how many policies created today so far, right? So on a daily basis or monthly basis or quarterly basis, how many policies were created, how many were accepted by us, how many were rejected, how many were in cancellation state, how many were in the renewal state. So they wants to know about all these. So for that, auditing teams will be there. So these are the business users. It can be producer, it can be underwriting team, it can be auditing team. All these people are called as users. These are the users who are using the policy center application. So gathering the business situation or the problem from the users is as a BA we have to do. So when will we know, for example, if you are the person who is, or for example, I am the user where I am a producer or a broker, wherein I am an underwriter, whoever am I have some requirement in application where I want to make some changes based on my organization business rules, for example. So if I speak to a business analyst should understand what am I making, what is required for me to make changes, where am I doing it. So if you want to do it, what is required, you must be knowing about how the policy creation happens, the flow process of the application policy submission, the flow process is also required. So as a BA, there are two things. One, you must be knowing about the flow process of the policy center, means how the policy flow is created. Because if you want to create a policy flow, LOB to LOB, that has a difference. If you are creating any homeowner insurance policy, okay, homeowner insurance policy, majorly structure of the building, either it can be inside, what are the items they have in the house, right? So all these things will be part, right? So age of the building, when it is constructed, what type of building, where exactly it was located, geographical location. If all these details will be submitted in the homeowner insurance policy. If it's personal auto and commercial auto, vehicle details has to be submitted, driver details has to be submitted even. All these details has to be submitted in that. So when we are working on the application or when we are trying to understand as a business analyst, whenever we are working on the application, it's always important for us to understand what are the flow, what is the flow process when we have submitted any application here. Because the flow process, so that where requirements are needed, any kind of changes, etc., everything will be known for us being a business analyst. So knowing about the flow process from one LOB to LOB is important. It's not only that if you have experience in homeowner insurance or something, it's not sufficient, because we have different LOBs we have. Let me show you. For example, I have already have an account. If I want, we can create an account. Of course, that's a different thing. Assume that we have an account. If you want to submit the policy, as in when this is something will be done by the producer, not by a BA. But why are we learning? Just now I told you, you must be knowing about the flow process, how the process happens. Okay, I just taken one submission name. Here we need to select the producer. Producer nothing but an insurance or a broker agent, because he himself is doing it. Based on his login credentials, he himself is logging in and he has to submit the application. So these are the LOBs we call it as. You can see these are the line of businesses. Means business owner, commercial auto, commercial package, commercial property, general liability, inland marine, workers' compensation and all. And you see closely whatever the LOBs that I have mentioned over here, all these things are relating to commercial and business. They are nowhere relating to anything relating to the personal property. If you see why, because the kind of submission of the account that we have taken is on the business name. Subsequently, based on the business name, whatever we have taken, we can see all the LOBs. We can see business owner or commercial auto. These are the LOBs. Each and every LOB has a structure, application structure. What are the fields are required? What conditions that are to be applied? This flow process must have an idea to a BA, so that when we are understanding the requirements from the customer, we understand much better. It doesn't mean that submission of the application is not something that we do, but we must be knowing about the flow process. So why Guidewire application knowledge? Either it can be policy center, it can be billing, or it can be claims. Why application knowledge is required? The first reason is this. First reason is you must be knowing about the flow process. For example, I'm going to create, right? So let's say I have taken a account number. Okay, I'm just giving you a high level glimpse. Okay, I'm not going anything in detail, but over a period of time I'll take it. For example, customer, this company called customer Big League Bakery have came to us, and they want some kind of commercial auto insurance policy they want. So when they want to have a commercial auto insurance policy, that is happening through a producer or an producer or a broker or an agent. Through producer or an agent, they are submitting the application. Now there are two conditions. Sometimes customer want quotation, including quotation, they want full application, so that they wants to bind the policy and they want to proceed this further by paying it, so that they want some policy document has to be created. That is one reason. Second, sometimes some customers they want only quotation, right? So because they want to compare with one company to another company, they want to compare. So for that, what they want some only quotation. Okay, only they want only quotation. Once we have submitted quotation, given the quotation, generated the quotation, whether they wants to proceed further or not, generally they will take a decision on that, because based on the coverage types, based on the premium that we have provided, everything will vary. So let's say, for example, customer wants some quick quotation, right? So he want only quotation for his commercial auto. He has taken some vehicles and all that. So this flow process is required, because if there is any changes are needed in the flow process, that is where as a user you will be you will be facing a problem. If you are a BA, when you try to understand the requirements or the business problem or the situation of the customer, this flow process, understanding about the flow process is always required, is always needed. Understood? This is reason number one why Guidewire application knowledge or flow process knowledge is required, because of this reason. This is reason number one. Let me open it. It's taking time. Just wait for 2 minutes. Yeah. So this is what the commercial auto I have opened, right? So there are different type of offerings we have. We have standard, special risk. All let's say that standard policy they have taken, right? So we have different steps we have, because we need to submit the quotation, right? So first of all, we need to mention all the qualifications. Okay, commercial pre-qualifications, right? So did the agent have inspected the vehicle, all the details. At the same time, how many hours per day the vehicle is in use. Based on that, this is a commercial vehicle, for example, right? Over 12 hours per day, it's going. So we have to submit all these details. Who is giving all these details to us? These details being given by the customer. Customer is giving the details to us. Based on the details, this application or this flow, what are the flow, you can see the user interface fields that you can see over here. Everything was predefined. Now anything that is to be added or it is edited, right? So or if you want to add one more, or if you want to edit something, or let's say that you want to add one more entity to the existing one under 12 hours or 12 hours per day, right? So it is 24 hours per day. It can be some other things. So this backend as a developer they have to do. So for that there are some requirements to be written in a form of as a form of user story or something. As a BA we have to do it. So we have selected 12 hours per day. Okay, over 12 hours per day. Next, we need to submit the quotation policy information details. We have to submit when the quotation is required. So we have to provide all the quotation when the customer is required. So what must be the estimated premium? All this. So this flow process is required. That is what option number one. Again, I'm repeating, this is not only for one LOB, at least 2, 3 LOBs. One is on the home insurance. Normally, when it comes to me is concerned, I'll create LOB for commercial vehicle. I'll create a for personal auto, for at the same time business owner, business commercial property, at the same time homeowner. At least 3 to 4 application flow process if you know, so that you will be knowing about the difference. Because when you have applied for job opportunities, if you remember in the job description below, you will be finding, I required a business analyst in policy center, for example, but a person should be having experience in commercial auto or personal auto, or it can be homeowner insurance. So they will be providing, some companies will expect a person to have one LOB or two LOB or three LOBs of their requirement they want. So at least 3 to 4 application flow processes if we create, so that you will be knowing about the flow and what kind of changes we may come across in between will be explained in the requirement format when I explain to you. Okay, this is one. Now, second about the underwriting rules, because normally this is called underwriting rules. Just now I have told you, XYZ is an insurance company. They have a rule stated that if any commercial vehicle or a personal auto or a commercial auto is submitted, application is submitted, they have a rule. What is the rule? once last 3 years, normally assume that we have taken last 3 years of data of the particular driver details, more than 3 traffic violations, okay, automatically it has to be flagged as a high risk driver. System has to detect it as it, because details are already submitted by the customer. Customer has to provide all the genuine details over there. Otherwise, if there is any cross verification that we have identified, we may have the possibility where we can declare the quotation even though it is being hidden. Even the policy is issued, sometimes the policy can be cancelled at any point in time because of the wrong information given by the customer. So customer has to provide all the genuine. So system has to detect what system has to detect in last 3 years, earlier last 3 years, more than 3 traffic violations, automatically it should be considered as a high risk driver. Immediately system has to escalate this issue to the underwriting team. So there are some underwriting rules we have to define. So these rules, whatever the rules I am referring to, either it can be of any LOB, these rules will vary from company to company. I've just given one example to you. Okay, or else second example, let's say when you're talking about the renewal situation, for example, policy renewal. There is a rule, when someone has paid a premium continuously 1 or 2 years, a customer has paid the premium and he has not applied for any claims, there is a no claim bonus percentage will be provided. No claim bonus is nothing but a goodwill gesture or some discount will be provided by the insurance company to the customer because he has not claimed anything so far. This can be some companies can apply this after 1 year of the successful premium. Some people can do for 2 years. Some people can do for 3 years. That can vary. Okay, it will not be the same in all the conditions. So based on that, we have to write down the underwriting rules. This is one more requirement as a BA you must be knowing. You need to write down the underwriting rule, followed by the underwriting rule, whatever the required logic that is to be applied here. Here you can see there are different conditions and logics has to be applied. Based on the logics that we have mentioned over here, how this can be implemented logic as a developer, they will be doing in the backend system. This is all part of configuration I'm talking about. Okay, this is not part of integration. As a configuration developer, they will be doing necessary configurations in the backend of the system. So these conditions, this logic has to be initiated by the BA. So knowing about the underwriting rules is even important. Next, for this particular business situation, what should be the activity pattern? It can be one patterns or it can be 2 or 3 activity patterns. For the particular scenario, we have to write. So from a BA perspective, either it can be policy center, billing or claims, knowing about the flow process of all these. If it is claim process, you must be knowing about end-to-end claim flow. If it is billing, you must be knowing about the billing lifecycle flow. If it is policy center, you must be knowing about the policy flow. Plus, you must be knowing about the activity patterns. You must be knowing about the business rules. If you're talking about the policy center, it is underwriting rules. If you're talking about the claim center, then we have activity rules, we have exposure rules, we have result rules. So these rules to be updated in the application based on the information taken by the customer, something as a BA we have to be performed from the application point of view. I'm not talking about the domain because domain knowledge anyway it is always required. But apart from the domain knowledge, this flow process, when we are working as a Guidewire Policy Center business analyst or claims business analyst or billing center business analyst, this flow process is always needed. This is something that we'll be doing. Regular as a BA, what will you do, right? So what are your roles and responsibilities? That anyway, many people have known. I hope 1% from the testing, but still you gather the requirement from the BA, right? The same will be taken by the testing team only as being a manual tester. So this is the overall understanding for a business analyst role of a Guidewire business analyst from application point of view. Okay, so one about the flow process is required for you. You need to have a detailed understanding over the flow process so that you will be knowing where the requirement is so that you can easily communicate with your technical team. Either you are writing document, you're writing user stories and all, that is your choice. What kind of application development lifecycle model we are using, based on that it will vary. That is one. Second, knowing about the activity pattern based on the requirement to requirement, how this can be, for example, particular situation, because when you go for an interview also this is required, because of course there are possibilities where they may ask you about the basic questions. I don't deny that. what is dwelling, right? So what is indemnity, right? So what is so those kind of questions they may ask. Okay, that is always there. But after that, so when you are showcasing your experience as a Guideware business analyst, they'll ask you a scenario, or they may expect you to share a particular complex scenario that you have recently come across. So that sort of understanding for a BA it is required. So when it comes to my way of uh, taking sessions for Guideware Business Analyst is on that direction, apart from the application knowledge, because different scenarios I'll discuss with you. And of course, there were hundreds and hundreds because it's not practically possible for us to, but major ones at least. Major scenarios will be discussed for this particular one. How this can be updated in the activity pattern, how this can be done in the underwriting rules. These kind of experience I'll be sharing when I'm teaching it. Okay, this is what the overall thing is all about. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. One by one. Namita, Rajita, Santosh, Shyam, Sophia, and Suresh. Do you understand? If you have any questions, please go.
Yeah, sure,
Yes, sir.
Raj. That was
So,
a great session. Thank you.
yes, I agree. It was a great session, sir. So my question is, like, as I said, that I come from testing background.
Mhm.
I don't know the basics of business analyst role or, how the process actually works. Will you
I
get
will,
into that?
yeah, I will teach that, Shyam, because anyway, see, part of Guideware BA, because see, as I've seen majority of the people from BA, so hence I am not getting to that. Well, I didn't discuss about that. But when I teach business analyst, I'll take some basics of BA for sure. Without that, it's not possible, right? So I have to explain about the business life cycle. I have to explain about the flow process of BA, right? So what are the activities, what knowledge areas that we have to be good with? That part anyway, I'll cover. That's part of my teaching. But here, when it comes to the session now, as I've seen, many people are from BA. So the basics I have not focused more because I focused more on the application front. Yes, BA topics will be covered, right? So I just directly I don't go to Guideware application directly. This is for everyone, okay? I'll teach some basics of business analyst. From there onwards, I'll go to the Guideware BA. This is how I go because I never know, right? So some people come from business analyst background because out of my experience, I have seen some people are coming from BA background, some people are coming from testing background, some people were from the development side. They want to enter into the BA side because they want to move towards the project management role in future. So this is BA is an entry gate for them. I can see some pure functional people. They are purely from insurance domain side. They are nowhere relating to IT. They are into the insurance business development side and all. They are also learning because these are all my experiences in over a period of time. What I have seen this. So I made a discipline in such a way. First of all, BA topics will be covered. Even the person having the knowledge or not, that's it is immaterial for me. I'll cover the BA first. Okay, basics will be covered. Then only I'll go to the introduction of about the Guideware application. Why is it is important? Next, from there onwards, how the policy, how to create that, what should be the flow. When I'm explaining the flow and all, what are the different scenarios we come across? If this is the situation. For this, what kind of rule? Let's say, for example, sometime back I told you, repeating again. Let's say high risk driver is identified by the company. So how this can be applied for the underwriting rule? How this can be implied under the underwriting rule? So that's how generally I explain. So yeah, BA topics will be covered initially to start with. After that, I'll give you some basic understanding over the PNC domain for one day or so. That's it, not more than that. After that, I'll move into the Guideware application. That's how I teach. Okay, so that's how it is. Sure. So that you don't need to worry about that. I don't directly go to Guideware application. No, I don't do that. So this is for your question. Answer is that. Any
So
question?
my last question is, yes, my last question, if you mind, please. That is like, when we were doing software testing and we download some tools, Selenium, Java, of course, you're familiar with those. Will we be able to download the tools like Guidewire over here and practice on our own?
No, see, because this is not testing, right? As a business analyst, if you want to write user stories and all, you can use Jira. Okay, that is one tool you can use it. If you want to create some flow process or flow diagrams and all, we can use Star UML, Microsoft Visio and all that. Those kind of tools can be used as a BA. Apart from Guidewire application, okay, I'm referring that. Because those are all the BA skills. Whatever I am mentioning you, these are all BA skills. It is nothing to do with Guidewire. It is nothing to do with Guidewire. Any business analyst role you do, you have to write user stories. You need to write documents. Documents now and then we are writing very less. User stories you need to write. For that we are using Jira. If you want to have some comprehensive documentation, we are using Confluence. That can be used. If you want to create some flow process, something like use case and sequence diagrams and all, Star UML or Microsoft Visio कर सकते हैं, right? So those can be used. Those are the additional tools apart from, and those are all BA learnings. Okay, it is nothing to do with only Guidewire. Any business analyst training which I provide or anyone provide, not only me, anyone provide, we will be using those tools. Guidewire application is an additional. That's how it is. Understood, Shyam? You're clear.
Raj,
Yes.
this is Suresh. I have one question.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, for people who are experienced into US healthcare or in UK healthcare, is this necessary to learn all the three, like policy center, billing center, and claim center, or anyone is fine?
Because see, the major challenge in Guidewire jobs nowadays, as I have seen, I may be wrong sometimes. I always prefer person to learn all the three because you never know. For example, policy center is always in the first priority. Okay, if you ask me a priority first, I will tell policy center out of my experience. Second, claims. Third is billing. Okay, this is my flow. But necessarily for that reason, I have assumed that I have given training only on the policy center. Okay, there is no guarantee that now and then you get only jobs for policy center BA. Okay, they may be asking for claim center. Assume that you have learned only claims. Okay. People may ask you about something relating to policy or billing. So it's always advisable from my side personally. I always advise people to learn at least 2 to 3 modules. It's always better for your reason. For me, it is not because I'll reduce my duration, right? So I don't have any problem. But major thing is why I'm suggesting a person to have at least 2 to 3 modules experience. You are applying when you are applying, you never know what kind of job opportunity. You cannot give, no one can give assurance. You have learned policy center 100% end to end. Unfortunately, right? So 0.1%, right? So 0.1%, there was no such opportunities for policy center as of now. Okay, as of now, we have good at claims or billing. Then we shouldn't repent again. Okay, the reason I suggest people to go for three all that stuff. Okay, Sophia, no problem. I hope
Thank
you
you.
understood this. No problem. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Suresh.
Thank you. I got the answer.
Yeah, tell me, Suresh. Anything?
Thank you, Raj. I got the answer.
Okay, that's it. That is the case. So I advise you to have at least 2 to 3 modules. That is my advice. One is not suggestible unless because there are some conditions I come across some people that I got the reference from one of my friend, right? So they want some policy center guide with me. I want to learn exclusively only that. Those kind of situations I'll provide training only on that. Otherwise, I'll prefer at least provided if person have enough time, 2 or 3 modules are preferable. Because if we are not getting requirements on one, at least we can apply for another one. We need to see alternates also. We shouldn't feel depressed. That is the reason why, right? So that is the case.
Yes, understood, Raj.
Okay, that is the point. And Namita, yourself and Rajita.
Yeah, hi Raj. I have one question. Currently I'm the PNC BA, right? So I want to switch to a Guidewire BA. So in market, whatever jobs are there, they want someone who has already means whether they want a knowledge or do they want the certifications as well? Like how can actually I can switch from the like plain PNC BA to a Guidewire BA?
First of all, certification cannot be written by an individual directly because if you are working for an employee of an organization, they have to refer you. Then only through that only certifications can be written. Directly, it's not like Agile Scrum certifications.
Okay.
That is point number one. So certifications are not mandatory for the job profiles for Guidewire BA. If you have, it's an additional advantage. That is all I can say. Okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
question answer for your first question.
Yeah.
Second question, as you have asked, if I'm not wrong, correct me. Like, as I'm a property casualty insurance side business analyst, is it possible for me to switch over to Guidewire? Answer is yes, because you are working for P&C insurance company. Your company must be using some application. Okay, you have to project something that my company is planning nowadays to transform to the Guidewire. So I am working in the projects for Guidewire. So for that necessary, you have to do the changes in your resume. That is always. Okay, you have to
Mm-hmm.
changes in your resume and you have to apply. Fortunate enough you are from the P&C insurance. There you can say, right? So my company is moving towards Guidewire. So I worked as a business analyst.
Okay.
And so that will not be an issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is the case. That's it. That's it. Next, anything? Anyone? Any questions? Rajita, Shyam, Suresh, Namita.
Is there any way we can practice, like, so we cannot like download it and practice on this?
You don't need to download. Actually, Mr. Ravi, you can contact Ravi. Ravi will give you the share of this sharing of this UI, right? So this user interface is there, right? This UI screen is there, right? So this will be provided by Ravi. 1 minute, right? So this UI is there, right? You can see. This UI access will be given by Ravi to you. Okay, you just contact Ravi, so Ravi will give you that, so that you can do practice here on this UI. Ravi will take care of that. Understood, Shyam?
Yes.
No. Ravi will give you because once the course has started, because you need to do some practice, because it's come only with practice. It's not by just learning. Okay, you need to have some practice on this application also. Even though you have got some results negative, right? So any errors, no problem. You do it, right? So you will be knowing. So you will get an access from Ravi. Ravi will take care of that, and Ravi will give you that access to you. So you can contact Ravi regarding that. He will do it. He can provide that for you. That's not an issue. Because practice is even important for this. Anything? Namita, Rajita, Shyam, and Suresh.
No, Raj, I'm fine.
You're clear? Right. So this is what the Guidewire business analyst is. Okay. This is on policy center. The same like as claim center and billing center as well. But claim center, claim processing, we need to create some unverified claims, all that. When it comes to the billing center, we focus more on the billing cycle, agency billing, premium billing, and all. Some basic stuff will be covered at the same time application. The flow process is always advisable you to know it. If you know the flow process well, then it's more advantageous for you to work on the application.
How many months is the training?
Sorry?
How many
Okay.
months is the training?
Normally, this is for 45 days. These are all the three applications I am talking about. All these three will be taken somewhere 6 weeks time for you to cover all the three applications. All the three applications. For 6 weeks, I can say, like 5 to 6 weeks, it will be taken. So, because every day, whatever the time that we schedule, sometimes topic may not be completed on the particular day. So, roughly, I'm just giving the details. So, I'm referring all the three modules, not any one. All the three modules, that is the relation. Understood? Now, clear? Understood. Namita, Rajita, Shyam, Suresh.
Yes.
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 Right. So this is what today's session is all about, right? So based on that, you can contact Ravi so that he will guide you further on this. Okay. Okay, guys. Have a great day. for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Raj.
you.
Thank you.